Hi there everyone, today's tutorial is going through our week 9 diorama diagrams. Close-in intimate vignettes on kind of a specific condition at a kind of a 90-degree corner. Unfortunately, I recorded the tutorial without any audio, so I'm going to be narrating separately over the pre-recorded video, and so you will see a disconnect between my voice and the little me on the little bottom of the screen here, wherever it is, in my mouth. So apologies for that, but here we go. So I have this Rhino model of a mock-up of a guest room on the corner, just as a demo. And I've got it in ghosted view so we can see all the pieces here. I also have the roof and a floor above. And you'll see that it is on a separate layer, those things, and I can just turn those off without having to deal with them like that. And a lot of the techniques that we've done are exactly the same as we've been practicing already with a lot of other diagrams. And so I've got a couple name views here set up already. You make sure that they're in their parallel projection. And one of them is set up for the bed area, and then the other one is set up for the bath area. And so what we're going to have to do is hide a bunch of the foreground elements in order to create the diorama. And the two views are also at basically the same angle. Same axonometric angle. Right? So you adjust those to try and get basically the same angle, so that when they appear on the page, they're cohesive in the angle. And so here I'm making a new saved view using the named views panel. Now with the views saved, make the viewport bigger, and first of all we will hide the things in the foreground. So I'll select the balcony items and just use the hide command, and I can just hit my space bar to repeat the last command quickly. Here with the exterior walls, you might want to keep track of where they intersect the floor slab, and so because that might come in handy in Illustrator when cleaning things up and showing a poché section cut. And what I've done is I have a layer called intersection curves. Some of the things in here don't have very good intersections between each other. So what I did was I had selected a lot of those items beforehand and done the intersect command in order to get intersection curves. So that would provide a definition of the intersections between a bunch of different items. And I put those all on one layer. We don't need to see some of the things at the entry of that casework. We're not going to have the bathroom in the bed area diorama, but we can just cut those out later. So with this item, the wall between the bed area and the bathroom, that's where we will have that, and I've used that to create an intersection curve with the floor that we'll use later. And you can see that the way I did that was I select a whole bunch of things and just use the intersect command. And those curves I put on that layer, intersection curves, and there they are. So these were the sort of some problem areas that were not showing up the first time I did a Make 2D. And these are also useful. Some of these are useful, especially those lines where they hit where the walls actually hit the floor. Those will be useful when we get back into Illustrator to show the boundaries of our diorama. the boundaries or the intersection of the exterior wall with the floor, the interior surface of the wall with the floor is useful for that same reason. And along there, we would want to put the boundary there, but we can just perhaps do that, pick that up in Illustrator. Okay, again, turn off the ceiling and roof. And now go back to make sure that we have our named view active and perform the Make 2D. So the settings here we've probably seen before. Have the view, maintain the source layers, have the scene silhouette outlines, because those will come in handy in Illustrator, group the output, and then here we might as well make our Make 2D group layer name something useful. So let's call this Bed 2. So it'll put all of the Make 2D objects on a layer group called Bed 2, including the scene silhouette. And then the Make 2D is done. Let's make sure we move the Make 2D out of the way from where it originally is made, because every other Make 2D we create is going to end up in the same place. And you can see that all the intersection lines seem to be coming through correctly. And previously they were not showing up where the bed was hitting the floor. And so you see they put them on the Make 2D items on that Bed 2 layer group. And there are the silhouette outlines, which can come in handy when we get to Illustrator. And we'll lock that layer and go ahead and just so if we do Make 2D on top of it, we don't mess with it. Okay, now we can go and do the bathroom. And again, in this case, we will hide the foreground elements so they're obscuring the view. Including now all of the bed area. And the wall dividing the two spaces. We'll hide these items that we don't need, that we're not going to look at. The exterior window, we will hide that. And with the glass here, now we do want to sort of see through the glass, but of course the Make 2D is not going to obscure the toilet. So what I've done is a DupFaceBorder command on that glass. So I select it and DupFaceBorder, which just creates the rectangle that's the border of that object, and then hide the actual object. So that border curve will end up being our glass in the Make 2D, and we can use that to our advantage in Illustrator to have some sort of see-through glass effect. There's the intersect curve to locate our separation and also edge of the diorama. And right there we'll need another edge, but we can put that in an Illustrator. Okay, now we'll do the Make 2D on what we see here. And in this case, we'll put it on a group called Bath 1. Go to the quad view, let's see the Make 2D. Whoops. And we'll move this out of the way as well. And we're getting ready for exporting to Illustrator. Now, you do want to have the angle, both the angle and sort of plan and the angle, the vertical angle, about the same. Now, you also, what's useful is to have them scaled vertically the same, right? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rescale my last Make 2D of the bath to match the vertical scale of the bedroom. So I'll use scale 2D. I've lined them up. One point at the top of where the ceiling was cut. And I will scale my bath Make 2D to match that vertical scale of the bed Make 2D. There we go. So that'll help keep things looking the same. Of course, those can be rescaled in Illustrator, but doing it right here in Rhino, if we can, will save us, could save us. It's more accurate and could save us a little time because of that. Now we can just export these. And export as Illustrator. And these are the settings. Keep it RGB because we're not going to be doing any CMYK printing. And no need to export the viewport boundary, or the hatches don't matter. We don't have any hatches. I've opened up the exported file in Illustrator. And you see our Make 2D items here. One of the first things we should do is make sure our artboard is the proper size for our final diagram. So we'll change this to 1920 by 1080. And then also, we'll go ahead and resize this. Give ourselves more room to work with. And while we resize it, it's keeping the stroke width the same, so the stroke widths are relatively finer to the overall diagram, giving us more space between the fill areas. And something else I like to do is just go ahead and make the stroke a little bit lighter. See, it comes in at 1 point. I'm going to make it 0.5 points. I like to have it finer, again, just to be able to, so you don't have the really heavy stroke in the way. And what we can also do is go to outline mode, which turns into just a black and white, almost wireframe kind of appearance, where it's just like a 1 pixel wide black line for all of the items. So this can help us get much more accurate. Toggle back and forth between Control Y or Command Y between preview mode and outline mode. And what I will also do is load in some colors from another file. You might have your swatches saved already, but we're going to load in some colors. I've loaded in these 4 colors here and ready to apply those into the diagram. And you should have your colors, kind of pretty well defined from all of your other diagrams and from your project already. And from And so here I'm also going to isolate and lock my, or not isolate, but just lock the scene silhouette layers, because the Shapebuilder tool, when you use it, can mess with those objects. And so I don't want to mess with them necessarily right now. I want to kind of keep those, the silhouette curves and preserve them. So I'm going to lock all those layers that have the silhouette curves on them. Then we can go ahead and get started with the bed area and start cleaning it up. So there are a lot of things here. We don't need the entry items or the bath items, so I'll just go ahead and delete those. And we're just focusing on the bed area. So we'll just clean this up a little bit, get rid of the unnecessary objects. And we will also want to construct the edges of the diorama, so the cut edges, the section cut edges. So somewhere there in front of the bed in the foreground we'll have, we don't want all of that area, so we'll draw a new line that aligns with our axon angle and make that the edge, the cut edge of our diorama. And I'll just copy another line, Option drag using the black arrow, and then switch to the white arrow while it was selected, so I can grab the anchor point and move it that way without resizing or moving the anchor point alone, and have it line up where we want. And I'll take this with the black arrow, that line, select it and copy it and paste it here, switch to the white, cycle the black arrow, switch to the white arrow immediately, grab the anchor point to move the whole thing, and try to get the intersection. For some reason, Illustrator was not letting me find the intersection, but that's okay. The Shapebuilder tool will be able to figure it out. Copy that, and now we're creating the section cut through the floor slab here in Illustrator. The technique here is to select the item with the black arrow. While it's selected, switch to the white arrow so you can grab an anchor point. And now maybe we want to be a little more accurate, so I'll go to outline mode with toggling with Command Y. And it should snap to that intersection. I don't know why it was not, but again, it's not such a huge deal because this is not exactly a scale drawing. It's just a diagram. Here we'll extend this line to meet the exterior of the exterior wall just by rescaling that, and we'll use the Shapebuilder tool to find that area. So those are the silhouette lines. We'll end up cleaning those up, but there are others around the other edges that we can use. We may end up tracing over some things with a heavier line as a silhouette. So we'll take this, start with this darker gray as our section cut poché fill color. While I have it selected, I switch to the Shapebuilder tool. That immediately picks up that color. Then I hold down Command or Control while I have the Shapebuilder tool selected. Select these objects that I want the Shapebuilder tool to work on, and once I release the mouse and release the Command key, it has picked up that color and the Shapebuilder tool is active with that color. So we'll do the poché areas here. We'll connect those two together. Show this wall section cut, the ceiling, and that one we need to do separately because I think that's a silhouette, a line back there that I've locked actually, so the Shapebuilder tool is not working on it. So we'll just have to do that one manually. We'll do the next color, select the color, switch to the Shapebuilder tool, Shift M, picks up that color, hold down Command, select the objects we want to work on, let go of the Command key, and we can, it's there ready for us to apply that color. And there are some things to fix here, as you can see, like Make 2D is still not completely perfect. We'll do the next color, we'll do the blue for the rug. And then we'll do the orange for the bed and the casework. And I'm not filling in every detail in this. As you can see, there's some things that I'm just kind of glossing over. But I think this should give you about the right idea of the techniques to use. And we will need those areas, so we'll color those in now, and we can always change the colors to the proper ones later. And there are a few things we missed, so we'll go back and do that again. Shift M, Shapebuilder, select the items, go back and find them. The stroke, for some reason, is a different color. I'm not sure where that came from, but I think that everything in these diagrams, a black stroke is recommended, but you can see what works graphically for you. And just fix a few things that we missed. Join those together. A few other details here. Somebody's not picking those up, but we may need to do those manually. Or let's see if we can try it again with the Shapebuilder tool. There we go. And a couple other areas, and we can join those together. And we joined those together, but we'd have to just zoom in, and that's okay. We know that we'd have to do that. A couple other areas there that we've got to fix. Select, pick. And we should also probably we would do the books and the fixtures, the light fixtures if we so desired. That we can just eyedropper. All these different color fixes we can eyedropper. And now we can clean up some of these extra lines that we don't need. We actually may need something there. So here we'll just do this manually. We'll create a closed path here and eyedropper that with the dark poché color. And we'll unlock these silhouette layers. And first of all, adjust the ones that adjust these ones. And we'll lock the bath layers and the layers that we don't, the bed layers that we don't want to affect. So we'll unlock the silhouette layers, see what's here. Go ahead and give these a heavier stroke. And then also clean up and move into place the lines where we want them. So we'll resize and rescale some of these and move some others. Rescale this one. Rescale this one. And probably just trace these ones here using the pen tool. And just make sure that that is also 3-point and that it's on top. We'll move this layer to the top. And now we'll move on to the bath area. And it's basically the same process and techniques. But we do have the glass there for the shower partition where we can use Illustrator to help us make it look like we're looking through glass. And again, we'll start by turning off the bed area, all the lines for that, locking the silhouette curves, layers of the bath area. And we could even turn them off if we wanted. So we'll clean things up that we don't need. We do need that boundary between the bed area and the bath, so we'll keep that. And here we'll clean up the section cut of the floor here and align it to the interior side of the exterior wall. So here we'll just make ourselves a boundary for our diorama there, just by drawing it in Illustrator. And we'll copy the thickness of the slab here, the floor, over to this area and turn it into a section cut by showing thickness cut here. We'll copy this. We're in outline mode now, Command Y or Control Y. Use the white arrow after selecting it with the black arrow to select the anchor point and move it accurately and snap from one anchor point to the other. And I don't need that item anymore, so I can delete that. This one we can move into a more proper place, this line here. Snap to that point. And then also here, just extend this line down. And we'll extend that across. And that's the silhouette line that we locked, so we might have to redo that one manually if we don't want to unlock the silhouette line. Here, we'll just draw a new line. And we can delete that silhouette line, or that line. So we're ready to do the infilling of the colors. We'll do the same thing. Shapebuilder, after selecting the color, select the objects, use the Shapebuilder tool to find the poche areas. Then we'll switch to the next color, use the Shapebuilder. And we don't need that. We know we don't need that, so we can delete that and clean things up a little bit. Now we'll do the next color here using the Shapebuilder tool. And we will pick within the glass a separate area. So we're not going to make that look like it's one area. And maybe we do the end of the wall that color as well. Then perhaps the back walls are an accent color with the blue. Or why don't we do we'll do the casework. And we'll do the casework orange as in with the bed area. And again, the item behind the glass we'll do as a little separate area, and we can affect that separately. And then now we can do kind of the accent color of the blue, as if this were a special wall treatment. Now you might also want to do the fixtures and the towel bars as well. The same process would apply. And here within the glass area, we'll adjust our color a little bit. So we'll sort of fade out these colors here that we see through the glass. They give the impression that the glass is obscuring the view through there a little bit. And I missed the little corner of the counter. That should have done that as well. But that same technique would apply there as well. So now we can edit the silhouette curve to get a proper, nice silhouette. And put it on top, that silhouette curves layer, so that it's on top of everything. Make sure it's black and that it is the proper stroke width. 3 points, what we want in this case. And it ends up that we probably simply will need to retrace over this. So we'll switch to the pen tool, go to 3-point black, and just trace our silhouette in this case. The export from Rhino was, because of the way that we had our view set up in the geometries that we exported, it was not actually useful in the end. So there basically is the bath. Let's turn on the bed and unlock everything and compose these a little bit better on the whole on the page as a unified diagram. And there we go, the bed area and the bath. Now Stella will want to see these in her class, and to discuss materials and attitude. And I think that this diagram can help a lot with how we understand where materials, or our understanding of where your idea of application of materials is.